Vinicius JR is already a Real Madrid legend, winning multiple Champions League and becoming one of the best players in world football. However, he's been sent back in time back to Flamengo, and he has been given a lifetime ban to join Real Madrid. So now he has to find a completely different path to win the Balon d'Or and become the world's best player. And Vinicius JR is back to being 16 years old at 67 overall. But like I said, he is banned from ever joining Real Madrid. But as you can see, this Flamengo team is really strong. Samuelino on the left, and they have some crazy backups. So Vinicius has to immediately make his first decision. Should he stay here at Flamengo, fight for his place? However, his game time will be limited and his potential will go down. And at the moment, Vinicius has potential to be special, which is above a 90 overall. If he stays here, that will go down. Or his second decision, should he go out on loan, where he will have lots of game time and his growth will skyrocket right away. And I think it's simple. We're gonna go and loan him out for a season. And the loan offer he's accepted is RB Bragantino, as he'll spend an entire season here. And this is the team Vinicius will be playing with for the whole season, as he'll be competing with Vinicius from Timu. Come on, we know who the real Vini is. But it's now time for Vini's debut against Atletico Mineiro, as his first challenge is to score his first ever goal. And if he completes it, he gets to make his next decision. If not, something bad will happen. And let's just say in the first half, Vinicius looked more like Delicious JR, missing his first opportunity, then missing a second. But in the second half, he finally had a huge chance. 1v1, he has to put this away. I can pass it, but I need a goal. Finesse, it goes in. Vini scores his first professional goal. Let's go. And after his brilliant debut, Vini has already gone up a +1. But like I said, it's time to make another decision. And because he completed a challenge, we get to make it. As you can see, Vini can play both on the left wing and on the striker position. Now he can stay at left wing and gain another +1 to 69 overall. But he has a lower chance of eventually winning the Balon d'Or. If we switch him to a striker, he'll go back down to a 67 overall, but has a higher chance of winning the Balon d'Or in the future. This is going to be very tough. But looking at his stats, I'm keeping him at left wing. He's gone up to a 69. And this season, we're going to work on his finishing by going for the inside forward, as his next challenge is to get 10 goals this season. If he succeeds, we get to make his next decision. But if he fails, a wheel will make his decision, and it could affect his entire career, stopping him from winning the Balon d'Or one day. And when it comes to the club, they actually finished in mid-table, which is not too bad, man. But yes, Vinicius JR gets 12 goals and 7 assists, played every single game, went up a +5 to a 72, giving him his first playstyle in quick step, which means it's time to make his next decision. Extend his loan here at RB Bragantino, where he'll continue to grow but has a requirement of winning the Golden Boot, or go back to Flamengo and transfer list himself, where he has to move to another Brazilian side and can't leave them until he wins a trophy. Now this is a tough decision because Vini has 72 shooting. Staying here, all you'd have to do is win the Golden Boot. But if he decides to go back to Flamengo, he will never play for the club and has to hope that one of the top Brazilian clubs come in for him, and he has to win a trophy if he ever wants to go to Europe, because Flamengo are the current champion. And in season 2, I decided to send Vini back to Flamengo, and yes, he will be transfer listed and now has to go to a Brazilian club, whichever, and win a trophy before he goes to Europe. And luckily, one of the top 6 clubs have come in for him, and he is now joining Cruzeiro, the club where R9 used to play at. And boys, he could be here for years if he doesn't lock in. And now that Vini is a Cruzeiro player, there is a problem. He will not be starting, as former Prem winger Sinistera is over him. And his challenge this season is to get more GA than Luis Sinistera. Of course, if he doesn't, the wheel will decide whatever his next decision is. But you know what? Looking at Vini's shooting, I back up to score more goals than him, but his passing is really terrible. So we're gonna give him the wide playmaker role here. And getting close to the end of the season, Cruzeiro are sitting in second, 3 points behind Flamengo, as the rest of the league is way behind. And up next, they will face each other. A win here can get Vini his first trophy, and he can finally leave Brazil. But both teams went band for band, as Flamengo had a great opportunity that was saved by Casio. Then Vinicius created an opportunity that was saved by the keeper. But then Cruzeiro went up the other end, scored their first goal. And just like that, we go 1-0 down, man. But Cruzeiro are still looking for the equalizer. Vini cuts inside. Can he find somebody? Gives it all the way to Sinistera, who's playing on the right. Sinistera low driven. No, he misses. I thought it was going in, man. Mateus Pereira on the ball once again, been creating chance after chance. Gives it to Romero. Sinistera back into Mateus Pereira, through ball into Caio Jorge, and it goes in. With 6 minutes left to go, they at least get an equalizer. But a draw is all they get. They're still 3 points behind. Only a couple games left. Can they clutch up and win the league title? And yes, Cruzeiro have done it. Flamengo have become Arsenal. He can now leave to Europe. Did he get more GA than Sinistera? Well, Vini did go up to a 77 overall and also has 5-star skill moves, which means he's game 4 playstyles, an inventive game changer trickster for the 5 stars, and technical for hitting a 75 overall. He high-key destroyed Sinistera, 31 goals, 15 assists. But hey, he's 19 and 17. If Vini didn't have a super season, he was definitely gonna lose. We still get to choose his next decision. But we now have a decision to make, as Vini has received 2 offers. One from RB Salzburg in Austria, and the second offer from championship side Brentford. If he goes to Salzburg, his goal will be to win the player of the season, which could give him a +3 overall at the end of the season, but a -3 if he fails. But if he joins Brentford, he will have a lot of pressure and runs the risk of his potential getting lower and lower every year he doesn't promote. This is going to be a tough decision. And we made the decision to send him to RB Salzburg, where he's actually joining halfway through the season. So his player of the year challenge will not be right now. It will be at the start of next year. However, he will have a different challenge. And halfway through the season, Salzburg are sitting at the top of the table, running away with the league title. And the Golden Boot race is not looking competitive at all. So his challenge for the rest of the season is to win the Golden Boot. Very harsh. But if he ever wants to win the Balon d'Or one day, it's exactly what he needs to do. And of course, he will be starting on that left-hand side, the second best player in this team at a 76 overall. And I think for the rest of the season, I want to work on his pace. He's basically as fast as Maguire right now, so we're going to give him the winger development plan. And Salzburg ended up winning the Bundesliga, and they also won the domestic cup here. As in the conference, they got knocked out to Mallorca. That's a poor performance, to be honest. And Vini actually gets really close to the Golden Boot, shows his quality, but he didn't do enough, which means the next decision will be up to the wheel. But he does go up a +2 to a 78 overall to finish season 2 with 13 goals and 5 assists in all competition. If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe and let me know down below who's your favorite Brazilian player. So now in season number 3, his first full season here at Salzburg, the next choice is set to be made. He can go ahead and focus on winning the league again to try and win the player of the year, which of course means he can eventually leave this club or focus solely on the Champions League, completely forget about the player of the year. And if he can reach the quarterfinals, he'll gain a +3 overall and plus move to a team in the top 5 league. And I do want to do the Champions League one, but the wheel is going to decide since he didn't win the Golden Boot. But let's see what the wheel decides. We want to go to a super club next, speed up the Balon d'Or win, and no, we must focus on the player of the year because you'll get a +3 overall as soon as he wins it. So this season, we're actually going to go ahead and work on his finishing. It's the best way to secure him the player of the season. And it's a +4 for Vinicius JR this season, now at an 82, gaining rapid as his next playstyle. And 19 goals and 7 assists is a pretty good season. But did he beat his teammate to the player of the year? Well, once again, they win the league title and also win the cup. As yes, Vini has controversially beaten his teammate to the player of the season. So that means he's getting another +3 to an 85. Get to choose his next decision. He's getting closer to eventually becoming a Balon d'Or winner. So now in season number 4, Vini has been transfer listed because he is way too good for this team. However, the next decision has come around. The first choice is to join any club as long as they're not a top club in a top 5 league. So no clubs like PSG, Bayern, Liverpool, and he'll continue his career as normal. However, the second option, if I do want to go to a top club, Vini has to decrease his overall by 3, and he can go ahead and join those clubs. That's a very harsh decision to make, and the first offer he's received is from Liverpool. That is a big offer. And the second offer that comes in is RB Leipzig. Now, this would not be considered a big team, so he maintained his overall if he joined. And we have made the decision to send him to Liverpool. So for the first time in his career, he is playing in a top 5 league here at Anfield. However, that does mean he is now down to an 82 overall, and that means he would not be in the starting 11 as Cody Gakpo is a higher overall. And because we chose a left winger, he cannot go to striker, but he gets a one-time switch. And this is where our next decision comes in. Vini can stay at left wing, but that means for the entirety of his career, he cannot go to any other position. And it could also slow down his growth because Gakpo is in front of him. Or he can switch to the right wing spot, which means for the rest of his career, he has to play on the right. But his rapid growth can continue. Now, boys, this is tough. And it's tough because Vinicius is right-footed and he will score more goals on the left-hand side, which does lead to the Balon d'Or. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stay on that left wing in hopes that he can compete with Gakpo. So for this first season, I'm gonna go ahead and give him the inside forward role, as his challenge this season is to outscore Cody Gakpo so he can get that starting spot at Liverpool. But Vini's gonna make his debut at Anfield, starting in the bench. And while outscoring Gakpo won't be easy, as in the first 10 minutes, he went ahead and scored a beautiful finesse shot and then got a second only 3 minutes later, as Vini Vini's coming on in the second half for his Premier League debut. And now it's Kylian Mbappe, the dictator, looking for a through ball. He finds Vinicius JR, who's 1v1 against the Bournemouth keeper with a trivela. It's a great save. He's got to score that one, man. And now it's Kylian Mbappe, the dictator, with a brilliant through ball into Vinicius JR again. 1v1. This time he has to score it. Finesse, it goes in. He gets his first goal here at Liverpool. And here comes Florian Wirtz straight away into Vinicius. Once again, another finesse that goes in. Just like Hackball, Vini gets a second. Vini's debut ends 4-0. But is he good enough to outscore Galactico to become a starter? And Liverpool had a decent season, finishing 4th. But come on, behind Nottingham Forest, that's fraudulent, man. And it seems like the dictator was a top goal scorer. Did Vini outscore Galactico? Well, Vini did pick up a +5, now back to an 87. However, he's injured. I'm worried about his number, as Vini gains the finesse shot playstyle for reaching an 85. But no, Vini is unable to outscore Galactico. 16 goals, while Galactico got 20, which means for the time being, he's still not officially a starter, but the wheel will also decide his next decision. And because of his injury, Vini has gone down to an 86. And well, this season's challenge is for Vini to help Liverpool win the Premier League. However, there are two choices that can happen for Vini. One option is that Liverpool change the formation that occupies a left wing and a left mid, and Vini will play deeper, which will lead to a -2 overall, but he'll be starting. Or the second option is for Liverpool to sell Cody Gakpo and sign an even better world-class left winger, leaving Vini on the bench. To be honest, both of these decisions really do hinder Vini. But of course, the wheel will decide because he failed his last challenge, and it's going to be replace Gakpo. That's the worst thing that could have happened for Vinicius. So that means Vini will still be sitting on the bench. I mean, he played a lot of games last year, but he's not starting, and Gakpo will be replaced by a world-class left winger. And the left winger they decided to bring in is Vinicius JR, the best winger in world football. Vini can still complete his challenge, but his potential is definitely going to tank considering he's not starting. So Vinicius out of 90 overall joins the starting 11. Can Vini go ahead and get into this team somehow? We just have to make sure he continues to improve. We're going to go for the winger role. And this is why they signed Kvaratskhelia. 30 goals and 7 assists. He's even at a 91 overall, still growing. Vini had a decent season of his own. 15 goals, 40 assists. However, he did go up a +2 to an 88. But if he was a starting left winger, he probably would have scored more and got more up in overall. And to make things worse, Liverpool failed to win the Premier League. So once again, the next decision will not be up to us. So now in the brand new season, Vini has two options. Stay here at Liverpool and continue to fight for his place, but his potential is going to continue to decrease. But he's already getting used to the Premier League. Or the second decision is to join PSG because they want him to be a starter. However, if he joins PSG, he could never come back to the Premier League and runs the risk of not having enough PR to win the Balon d'Or. And personally, I want to stay here at Liverpool. The Real Madrid's already banned. I don't want the Prem banned as well, and it's going to be PSG. He'll be going to Paris where he'll start, but he could never play for a Premier League club again. So Vinicius JR is now joining Paris Saint-Germain. There is a positive that he will be starting every game, as his first challenge is to win everything in France, including the Golden Boots. Because if he fails, we know that one of the decisions already is to leave PSG and never come back. And there we go. Vinicius is starting on that left with this incredible team. Even benching Gakpo, who benched him 2 years back. But he is now wearing that number 10. And remember, he needs to win it all, including the Golden Boot here in France. But let's see what Vini's all about in the Trophy of the Champions. Andre Santos now on the ball, gives it into Lautaro, lays it off into Vinicius, and it goes in. The first 8 minutes of the game, he gets his first goal. And now here comes Vini, cuts inside, he beats one defender, looking to beat the second. Yes, he does, has a shot, and it goes wide. Come on, Vini. Sonny Mayula on the ball, gives it into Lautaro, who lays it off into Vinicius. 1v1 with a finesse, it goes in. In the second half, he extends the lead, man. Sonny Mayula on the ball again, gives it to Vinicius JR, looking to get the pass into Lautaro. With the finish, it goes in. And a trophy coming for Vini. And PSG lift the Trophy of the Champions. Can he win the Coupe de France, the league title, and the Golden Boots to complete his challenge? And what a season for Vini. 31 goals and 3 assists. Went up a +4 to a 92, which has given him Quickstep Plus and Low Driven Silver to replace Quickstep. But of course, Lautaro Martinez outscored him in all competitions. I mean, Vini didn't win the Golden Boot, but they did win the league title by a whopping 27 points with only 1 loss. And they also won the Coupe de France 5-0. If he won the Golden Boot, and yes, he does by 2 goals, he beats his team at Lautaro. Vini is really shining here in France. And in the new season, Vini looks like one of the best in the world. Almost everything over 90. But I think we're going to give him the wide playmaker to increase his passing, as his challenge this year is to win the Champions League, which could give him the Balon d'Or despite not being able to join Madrid. However, if he fails once again, 50% of the decision means he'll be banned from PSG, can never come back. So it's all on Vini to win the Champions League this year. And in the league phases, PSG absolutely shined, as in the round of 16, they're facing Benfica. This should be easy. But of course, it's a two-legged tie. Let's see how the first leg goes. Away from home, it should be a victory. A 3-1 loss. I'm so glad I manually simmed this one. He has to now come back in the second leg. But here we go, second leg. Can Vini become Mr. UCL like he is in real life? He should not be in this situation, man. Lautaro Martinez picks up the ball, sends a through ball into Vinicius. 3 minutes in, left-footed finish, it goes in. In the first 5 minutes, Vini already gets a goal back. Vinicius on the ball with the cross in all the way into Doué. He can't get to the end of it, man. Vini on the ball once again, gets rid of the defenders disrespectfully, gives it to Doué. Come on. He's got to get to the end of it, man. But there's still a goal down in the second half. It falls into Vinicius. Can he cook the defender? He does once again. It's Vini with a finesse. Great save. Zaire gives it to Vinicius Jr. looking to get rid of the defenders. He gets rid of one. It's still Vini. Gets rid of the second. Little driven finesse. It's saved again. Kubarsi wins the ball back. Gives it to Lautaro, who finds Vinicius Jr. Gets rid of one defender. It's still Vini. Gives it to Lautaro. Touch. Finish. It goes in. Vini with the assist. They've equalized the tie. One more. They're through to the quarters. Alvaro Carreras gives it into Vini. Lays it up into Vitinha. 6 minutes left to go. Vini's wide open. 1v1. Can he finish? Yes, he does. In the dying moments of the game, he sent PSG to the quarters. But in the quarters, they now face Newcastle. But Donnarumma is out injured. Back at PSG for some reason. They'll get a victory here, and it's a 2-0 loss, man. How are they losing these games? So it's time for the second leg. Vini needs to step up, just like he did against Benfica. Alexander Isak into Anthony Gordon. Great save from Donnarumma, who's back. Alvaro Carreras gives it to Lautaro, who finds Vinicius. 1v1. Can he finish this one? Yes, he does. In the first 18 minutes, he gets a goal back already. To Vitinha, into Vini. He's through on goal. Scores it to Lautaro. Come on, Lautaro. You gotta get to the end of that. Vitinha, Couto, into Vinicius. Again, same opportunity. This time, Lautaro puts it away. 2-2. They're back in this game. But after that, full time and extra time happen. It's a penalty shootout for the first time in Vini's career. Alexander Isak to take the first penalty. I may be using old squads by accident. Isak goes to the left. Donnarumma makes a huge save. Vinicius cannot miss his penalty. Come on, Vini. Do not miss this. He goes to the bottom left. Hits the post and in. Let's go. Anthony Gordon for Newcastle. Goes to the left and I stay down the middle. Vitinha to take the next penalty. Where is he going to go ahead and put it? The captain, top left. No missing that. Sandro Tonali against his countryman. Donnarumma to the right. Great goal, man. And now it's Correa to take the penalty. Please do not miss this. To the left, but it's saved. That's not good, man. Muzakitis for Newcastle goes to the left. I stay down the middle again, man. Why am I doing that? Lautaro Martinez. Do not miss this, please. To the bottom right. It's saved by Cardoso. And if Newcastle score this, it's all over for Vini. Ferra to take this penalty. No idea who this guy is. Must be a regen. We're gonna go to the right, and it's saved by Donnarumma. Desiree Doué, do not let us down. Come on, Doué. And he's gonna go down the middle. Let's go. It's sudden death, man. Jamie, Bino Giddens. I'm staying down the middle again. Please go down the middle. Let's go. Let's go. Trent Alexander-Arnold to go ahead and score this. Let's go top left. I put too much power. I put too much power. Come on. We did not just give Newcastle another opportunity. To the right. Donnarumma, man. Donnarumma. Yann Couto. I think that's Yann Couto. He's gonna go ahead and chip it down the middle. It goes in. They're going to the next round. And in the semis, they'll be facing Real Madrid, the club he's banished from. But boys, Vini is injured for 54 days. It might be for the rest of the season. Maybe just in time for the UCL final. So Vini's teammates must do it without him for both legs. Let's see how this first leg goes. Please be a win. A 2-0 loss. Bellingham is Slim Shady with the goals, man. But here comes the second leg. We cannot play it because Vini is still not available. 2-0 down. No way we're gonna get knocked out because of an injury. 3-2 loss. Shady again and Chevalier. No way the goalkeeper came on and scored. That can't be him, right? But Vini is knocked out from the UCL, which means next season in a decision we cannot choose, there's a 50% chance he has to leave PSG and is banished forever. And Vini, might I say, had a terrible season. 14 goals, 6 assists. That's not enough, man. He's a 92 overall. He should be doing so much better. He does win the Ligue 1, the Trophy of the Champions, and the Coupe de France, but that was not his goal. He really let me down this year. So now in the brand new season, it's time for a decision. We know one of them is that he needs to leave PSG and he can never come back. Lowers his chances of winning the Balon d'Or as another super club is eliminated. But the second option is to bring in reinforcements, another world-class left winger that Vini has to compete with. Both of these decisions do not help Vini at all. But of course, the wheel would decide as he failed his challenge, and it's going to be leave the PSG side. And he could never come back. There's literally only 2 clubs where he can win the Balon d'Or at realistically. And of course, he was always going to choose FC Barcelona, banished from Real Madrid. Brazilians also love to come to the Camp Nou, as his challenge, of course, is to win the Champions League, which gives him the best chance to win the Balon d'Or here. I low-key wanted to stay at PSG, because here at Barca, there's a problem. And that is because he's playing alongside the best player in the world, Lamine Yamal. Vini's good enough to stand on his own 2 feet, but the Balon d'Or might be given to his teammate if they both obviously win the Champions League. And this team has to be a favorite. The Barcelona midfield is incredible. Josh Acheampong on the left, Joe Garcia on goal, even Hugo Ekitike. And as good as his shooting already is, he needs to work on his finishing. He needs to outscore Yamal and win the Champions League if he wants to win the Balon d'Or. Joining Real Madrid about now would have been perfect, man. And it was the Vini show this year. 40 goals and 11 assists. Comfortably outscored Lamine Yamal, Ekitike, and even this guy named Costa. And in the Champions League, they finished in 3rd, but Real Madrid finished in 1st. 16, they beat Marseille. Quarterfinals, they beat City. And in the semis, they got past Atleti. But it's an El Clasico final. The team he's banished from, the team that knocked him out last year, is back. And it's also the team that won La Liga comfortably and even won the Copa del Rey. However, Vini is the top goal scorer of the UCL, but Rodrigo's fighting for that Balon d'Or against his Brazilian teammate. But in all cups, even Rafael Leao has 30, Rodrigo 27. The Chevalier guy wasn't the keeper, it was a striker apparently. Bellingham as well. It's Vini versus Real Madrid to win the Balon d'Or and the UCL here. And Barcelona have an injury crisis. No center back, no right back, no center mid, no left back, and no Lamine Yamal. Oh, Vini has a back against the wall. It's gonna be a carry job from him and Ekitike. But can he do it? Can he win the Champions League? Banished from Real Madrid, his dream club. Can he win the Balon d'Or here at Barca? Gavi into Ekitike. Josh Acheampong lays it off into Vinicius. And here comes Vini, cuts inside, gets rid of the defender. Finesse, great block from Saliba. Pablito Gavi gives it to Ansu Fati. Back into Gavi. Ekitike lays it off into Vini. And here comes Vini, squares it into Acosta. Shot saved by Copel. Gavi into Ekitike, into Vini. 1v1. He needs to finish this. Yes, he does. That 5-star weak foot has got in Barcelona the 1-0 lead. And now it's Hugo Ekitike gives it to Vini in the second half. I don't know how much time is left. The scoreboard is gone, but it's still Vini looking to get past. His defender squares it into Ansu Fati. Come on, man. Pure domination for Barca so far, but here comes Arda Güler for Real Madrid. It's Bathsheba looking for the tackle. He takes him out. He was this close to getting the ball, man. Scoreboard is back. Chevalier to take the penalty to equalize for Real Madrid, and he scores it. Let's go. 4 minutes left to go. Ekitike through ball into Vini. He has to end up the game now. It kind of Vini. Sigue Vini. Squares it into Ansu Fati. It's all over. Barcelona are going to be UCL winners. That Balon d'Or has to be Vini's. And yes, Vini has done it, winning the Champions League and of course, the Balon d'Or. And if you guys enjoyed this video, click on the screen. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one.